If you're currently searching for property on the MLS, the chances are you've probably noticed the different classifications and categories for listings out there. You have everything from active, pending, contingent, canceled, expired, closed, and an often misunderstood term, backups. Today I'm going to be talking all about backups and what it means on the MLS and why possibly this is something you should consider during your property search. There's a lot of confusion out there about backups, so today I'm going to be covering the 3 most commonly asked questions I receive about MLS term backups. What does backups mean on the MLS? Well, it means the property is currently in escrow or under contract, but the seller is willing to allow the property to be shown and will still consider and accept a backup offer. The second most common question I receive is, if I offer more than the primary contract on the table, can I replace that contract? And the answer in short is no. The only way that primary contract can be replaced is if the buyer that is currently locked in decides to walk from the transaction, perhaps it's inspection related or something else, or the financing falls apart and that deal falls through. At that point, the next slotted backup position, so position number 2, would then be shifted and replacing the primary contract, and then it would be the effective primary contract on the table. And question number 3 is, should I write a backup offer? Now, every agent is going to have an opinion on this, but when it comes to me, I'm a huge advocate for it. If you've been out there searching for property, you've probably seen the property of your dreams. It checks every single box, but it's under contract. If only there was something we can do about it. But wait, you can. It's called write a backup offer. In an aggressive market, typically the fall through rate increases. Now, this is due to low inventory and high demand. Now, what that creates is a higher sense of urgency. So now you have these buyers going to properties. Some are overpaying for these properties because it's a multiple offer situation. Now, once they become under contract, maybe the excitement settles down a little bit, and then they start thinking, did we make a mistake? Are we overpaying for this property? Is it the right choice? And then what you have seen is buyer's remorse. Now, everyone has heard of this, and that buyer during their inspection period decides to cancel. And in the event there was not a backup contract for that property, that specific listing would go back on the market, and there's a possibility it could repeat the same situation. Now, for the buyer that wrote a backup offer and then became a backup contract, as in position number 2, once that buyer decides to walk that's in the primary and they're removed from the equation, that backup is then slated into the primary position automatically. And a lot of times I've seen the backup contract actually less than the primary. And this is because a seller is not thinking that that primary contract is going to fall through. They're looking at it from a perspective of, shoot, I have a primary contract, a backup is just going to sweeten up the pot, so yeah, I'll accept this. And typically it is a little bit less, but not all the time, so it could give you another advantage as a buyer. And when it comes to writing backup offers, I typically advise my clients to write it on the property that they really want and love, and if it came back on the market tomorrow, they would be the ones to write the offer then and there. So it's not going to be on every single listing. There will be the ones that they have to look at and consider, like either that one's gone and this is one I don't want to give up on. So it's definitely going to be a conversation you'll have to have and things to think about. But these are some of the reasons why I am a huge advocate of backup offers, and I have written them in the past, and I have had clients that took my advice and eventually ended up buying the property because the primary did fall through. Now, it could have been inspection, could have been remorse, could have been financing, could have been a variety of things, but it's a huge advantage for buyers out there, and it's something I truly believe will put you in a better position. And if things fall through, obviously you are now going to be the primary. So I want to end on the note that in an aggressive market where the demand is increased and inventory has been at a rock bottom, that sense of urgency is incredibly increased, which always leads to some remorse. So writing backup offers is extremely important, and now more than ever, it's something that I highly advise you to do in our market. So thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions about backup offers, or if there's anything else you want me to go into a little bit more detail about, I most certainly will. Thanks for watching. You know the drill. I'll see you next Monday.